Yeah. Listen, I want to thank you all for joining us today. My name is Dr. Paul Jacobs. I'm the state representative for the 118th District, the southernmost part, proudly, of Illinois. I'm a veteran of the U.S. Navy. I'm a career optometric physician. I have 43 years in health care background. I'm also a husband to Rhoda, a father, grandfather. And I stand today incredibly concerned about our facility in my district that provides critical care for the mentally impaired and developmentally disabled. In a report published by ProPublica on February 10th, just a week or so ago, we learned that multiple investigations by the Inspector General designated to oversee the Illinois Department of Human Services revealed serious, unacceptable incidents of neglect and abuse and a culture of intimidation and retaliation against whistleblowers at Choate Mental Health and Developmental Center in Anna, Illinois. Choate Mental Health and Developmental Center has been subject of more than 1,500 complaints to the Illinois Department of Human Services spanning the last decade. All of us standing here today acknowledge the problems at Choate. I know that they have spanned multiple DHS directors and multiple administrations. Last Friday, February 17th, every member of the House Republican Caucus, every member, and every member of the Senate Republican Caucus signed on to a letter to respectfully urge that a public, joint, bicameral hearing of the House and Senate's Health and Human Services Committee and Health and Human Services Appropriations Committee be convened immediately to provide critical oversight into these disturbing Inspector General reports. And the information that we gleaned from the ProPublica article, let me be clear, our concern in this matter is for the dignity, safety, well-being of the 270 residents. The residents there at Choate can't suffer. The most profound developmental and mental disabilities in the state can't suffer. They have to be treated well. Our concern is far from political. In addition to requesting this in-person public joint committee hearing, we also requested the committee hear testimony from and be allowed to ask questions of the following. Any high-ranking member of the Pritzker administration that is charged with overseeing the Department of Human Services, the presence of the Illinois Department of Human Services Director, Grace B. Howe, the presence of all appropriate and relevant high-level staff members of Choate Mental Health and Developmental Center, including but not limited to current Chief Administrator of Choate, Mr. Bryant Davis. In recent months, Governor Pritzker has been asked about Choate by the media, and on Thursday of last week, the governor answered one question by saying, well, I've told you before that if the problems can't be fully addressed, and we'll have to close it down because the state obviously, in that area is incapable of managing the facility properly. If we can't take care of the problems, look, there's no doubt there are continuing issues at Choate, and if these continue, as I say, we can't keep it open. I've seen Choate patients, residents there as caregivers and their caregivers for 40 years. I have a practice in Anna, less than a mile to the Choate Center. I've also listened to the Republican and Democrat governors for the last 40 years. As soon as they have anything that is remotely bothersome, that Choate's not being run correctly, they immediately say, let's shut it down. That's not a real big career move for the Union County population. Why would you go work someplace that's going to shut down? And that's every governor. This is not Republicans and Democrats, it's Republicans and Democrats. I've often said over the last few years, though, that the only person that kept on saying they're going to keep it open was Governor Pritzker. And now, last week, or within the last month or so, he's come up with this quote. I share his frustration. All of us here share his frustration. But we cannot and will not accept a blanket policy that throws our hands up in the air in disgust and closes down a facility that means so much to the residents in my area and in that area. We have not begun the process of trying to fix the problems, let alone exhaust every single solitary legislative and administrative option that we have. We cannot and will not accept the attitude that nothing can be done. So, Governor, we're asking you to work with us, work with your Democrat and Republican partners in the legislature. We stand ready as a co-equal branch of government, provide oversight and legislative direction. We stand ready to follow through and carry out recommendations and continue proper oversight for years to come. The first step on the road to fixing Choate is to convene the bicameral, bipartisan public committee hearing and get our questions answered and on the record.